We'll go ahead and start recording. Okay, and you guys can just take it away and introduce yourselves and what you're doing. Thank you.
Well, good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. We're going to teach you how to plant a flower tower. And in the past, we've done petunias and we're going to do it again tonight, but it's not the only flower that will work in this. My name is Patty and I have been doing this for probably 20 years. And
my name is Pam, and I've joined Patty in the last couple years, and every time we build it, it's different, but a lot of fun, and they're just beautiful once they start growing.
And I've had a lot of people in my neighborhoods that comment about how beautiful they are, and they are. Yeah. They are, and they're a statement, and you don't need that much room to go.
It's a nice idea though, wherever you are going to plant it or want to put it, go ahead and build it right there so that you don't have to be moving it around afterwards.
I'm going to have to look for mussels after this, where it goes. So I have a pot that's 50 inches going around it, and you can use any size pot that you want. I pack the bottom of the pot with rocks and soil, and that stays in place. I do not change that from year to year. This is a fencing type of wire that I got at the hardware store. This measures 3 inches by 2.5 inches, and that is what I use to stabilize and to put my plants on.
We like to put it in so that there's 2 rows that will actually be in the pot, and that just secures it that much more.
Anchors it. Then you're going to have landscape fabric, and we're just going to measure the pot and see how big we want our tower to be. You use a wire cutter to clip it. This comes in a big wire roll, and you're clipping it. Let me see if I can take some of this apart. And this I use every year, the same one. So once you buy it, you're fine. But you're going to have one side. I don't know, can you see this? That you're going to have a spike coming out and the other side is clean. So then you're going to take the spike and wrap it around to anchor it to make that circular structure. And I did that all the way down. And then we're gonna take our fabric and just wrap it around.
And the landscape fabric, you can buy different grades of it, but it's mainly just the medium size works great.
Mm-hmm. If anyone has questions as we go, please feel free to unmute yourself and just go ahead and ask your question out loud. Or if you want to put it in the chat, I can read it out loud too. Either way is really just fine.
So then in the past, how I've anchored this is I've stapled it up at the top.
And once your flowers are growing, this all gets covered up. So you don't see any of this in just a few weeks.
And then we're going to staple the bottom also. Do we have staples in there? Yeah.
And you don't even have to go every one, just make sure that you get it so it's secure.
Yeah. So in the past, another step that I have done is to take a needle and thread and just sew it to the metal on the inside. And I do that so that it doesn't blow around on me in the breeze. And we don't have a breeze here, so I'm just gonna skip that. But if you need to, it makes it so much nicer than trying to figure out how to get that fabric down. And we're gonna add soil to the bottom.
And the soil that we recommend is using something that would be like a Miracle Grow. This time we're using the moisture control, and I have to say that I did it this time, and I really think it holds the moisture that much better in the pot. So I'm just gonna go ahead now and fill up 2 of the fence.
Measure it. So another
More.
One thing that I should have told you from the beginning is to make sure that you have a drain hole in the bottom of your pot. And I use something as simple as a coffee ground paper on the bottom to keep the soil in. Yeah. Okay,
And
so
then you just kind of pack it in so that your plants can sit on top of that. Okay.
so then what I'm gonna do is just take a kitchen paring knife and I'm gonna stab a hole through the fabric and cut it. You need to. Okay. So I have chosen a pink petunia. And in the past, I did a really dark purple. And I wouldn't recommend doing that because the color just did not pop. So you want to have something that's going to be bright and stand out. And so where this slit is, I'm just poking this petunia in. What did I do? And I'm going to go about every third. So 1, 2, 3.
Once the blooms start coming, it just fills in the space. And if you end up going so close, this just gets bigger and bigger and wider that it's just nice that you don't need to do as many as you might think.
The first year I did, I put a petunia in every single hole. I had 104. It was gorgeous, but it was overkill.
And now I use 48 and just one flat, and it's really fun as far as if you do multicolors or try to just do just one color.
I'm just gonna push it in.
And don't even worry as far as sometimes if you're putting it in and just it starts looking a little like, oh gosh, I hope that one makes it. It will. Oh. This one's gonna be really pretty.
Yeah, that's just really cute. Yeah.
long do they grow? A month or 2 months?
All summer, all summer.
All summer.
The question was, do the flower towers bloom just for a week or two or all summer long? And once they start blooming, throughout the whole summer. In fact, it's kind of sad when you take down.
Is the soil inside up to the?
Where this one is now, yes.
Yes, we're just laying this round on top of the soil that I put in there.
Then we'll add more soil.
So now we're gonna add,
Now we go ahead and add more of the soil to cover those plants. And then we'll start again.
now, with every layer that I do when I'm planting it, I'm gonna put some water in just to get it to settle. And I've got a rain barrel water here. And that should do that.
Now you can go ahead and use different plants when you're building your flower tower. You can do petunias, you can do impatiens. Patty's also done pansies. Everyone just looks completely different.
And keep in mind, whether you have sun, what kind of care the plants want. What did I do tonight? Here it is. So now when I go to my next row, I go over one so that it's more staggering.
So even though that was the one that has the seam, you still do make a insert so that it's not gonna open up on the seam area.
Yeah, this landscape fabric you won't even see in a couple of weeks. It just blends in very nicely.
That's good. We know how it looks. It's beautiful.
Does anybody have any questions?
How much water do you have to put? How do you know it's not too much? They are not inside soil.
The question is how much water do you need to water your plant tower with? I do it every day or every other day. And we'll show you at the very end how we do that. You can't get too much.
And especially since it's above ground, it's gonna dry out faster. And so you do need to water more frequently. Stick this in. And I think we need a few more plants. And then we'll add another layer of soil.
And remember, again, just pack it in once you layer it and then water it again.
Pam's getting soil. And we need to bring it up to this.
How tall, how many feet tall is your wiring?
Let me measure, I'll tell you. This is like 21 inches high. And like I said, the openings are 3 inches by 2.5 inches. And it has a green coating to it. And then we're gonna go up to the next. I'm gonna. Let me say we had 48 plants for this one.
And the same thing like Patty said, this time, again, move over one more so that you're not gonna be right on top of the row that you've already planted.
The first time that I ever did this, I actually put all the soil in and then tried to put the plants in. It was not a good time.
That's why we're helping everybody learn how to do it.
Learn from my mistakes.
Have you ever tried planting strawberries in there?
No, but I'm sure that you could, any plant, you know, that tapers.
The question was, could you use strawberry plants in a flower tower? And you could.
In fact, I bet that would be really a nice one. And we're just staggering them because like Pam has said, these will fill in so beautifully. in a very, very short time. No, that's okay.
I was thinking. that it was-
And just continuing, and you could even do multiple types of plants as long as they were happy to cohabitate and they wanted the same type of sun and so now we're gonna add more soil. Pat it down again. And then water it again. And then we'll start another row. And I think we'll just do one more row and then we're gonna put a spike at the very top of it. For its height.
So when when you are planting petunias and they start drying down after they've bloomed, you can go ahead and snip that part off so that you're deadheading that plant. And when you do that, you actually don't just pull out this part that's dried. You want to go below that so that it'll start branching off and multiplying more blooms.
If you leave the petio in, which is behind the flower,
That part there.
right, that tells the flower, the plant, that it has done everything that it needs to do and reproduction is over. And so it will no longer flower and reproduce for you.
When you use impatiens, those you don't have to deadhead. So they just keep blooming and it makes it a little more simple.
Mhm.
But just the size of the blooms make each one that much different.
Didn't wanna take it soil in with it.
Sometimes you just have to push it a little harder.
Yeah. Right here. And see, this really goes fairly fast. Especially when you have a Pam to help you.
It is more fun doing together.
What is that pot made out of? Is that like plaster? or-
No, it's a clay.
Have you ever had trouble with it blowing over?
Well,
I worry about the wind. But you said you put some stones.
Mhm. Make sure that the question was, does it get top heavy and you have to worry about it tipping over? And make sure you put stones on the bottom so that it's very secure. That's why you do almost need to have it, you're planting it in the spot that you want to let it grow at.
yeah, it's heavy.
Mhm.
It's heavy. My daughter did knock one over one time when she was mowing the lawn. And I just righted it up and it looked gorgeous for the rest of the year. And I think this is gonna be our last row of the petunias.
What is that, 4 rows up then?
Yeah, yeah. The question was if it's just 4 rows that I'm doing, yeah. I'm just poking it through the hole.
Do you think it would work if you cut the slits even before you upright the tube? Have you tried that ever?
I never have tried that.
It seems like it's a little easier when you are working with it, just to do it at the time so that it doesn't start pulling.
Well, and the other thing is that you're gonna have soil going through the holes if you're slitting it in advance. So now we'll put on another layer of the soil. We're gonna put that, so just, that should be ready.
How many plants do you end up?
40. The question was, how many plants do we end up using? I have 48 to start with, and it looks like there's 4 left over.
We're gonna still put those on top, right?
I don't know if there's gonna be room.
Okay. I just wanted to show you again, this is the soil that we are using this time, and it just keeps the moisture in it just a little bit more.
Then
Patty's really done a great job with her spike. She actually used it last year. She overwintered it, and we're gonna use it again this year. So it doesn't have to be an expensive.
let's see if we can get it in there.
Where do you want it? You got a lot of dirt. Here.
That inside.
See why it takes 2 of us?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a question in the chat about what variety of petunias you're using.
These are, gosh, this one is actually called the Hooray Pink Petunia.
Well, this is way.
Oh.
Way too big.
We have a big, well, I do have a smaller spike in the house that I will bring out and use instead of this one. But when you get them at the garden, they're not growing like this. And I did use the one for another
So we want to show you one that is already done. And I'm just gonna move out here. All right.
Computer.
Can you see that? Now that's an impatient. Oop. It's working. So can you see that there?
Yep, looks good.
Okay, and in a very short time, that will be beautifully filled in.
Yeah, and you can just see how big that her spike is, which just is beautiful. I was also going to show you an patient tower that I had done.
We got one more.
Oh yeah, we've got to show you one more thing.
Yeah. As far as watering it, because there is a lot of space to get down to the bottom of the root. I went and got just a PVC pipe, and I think this is a 3-inch. My husband drilled holes in it all the way up and down on all the angles, put a cap on the bottom and filled it with something that wouldn't let the water through. And all I do is sink it down into the soil, and then I water it through this hole, and it will get to the bottom.
This here is a picture of the impatient tower that I had made last year. And it just kept on getting bigger and bigger, and I just loved it. And now you saw what Patty had done when she had just made hers. And I'm just going to show you, I planted my petunia tower.
This was planted a week ago, so it's gonna be coming in blooming soon and filling in.
Well, maybe not. So before we finish here, I'm just going to show you, this is the tower that I built about 3 weeks ago, and it's really filled in. I have a little smaller spike, and you can see just the feel is just a little bit different from the one that I made last year. I also last year had used more of a grass that was on the top, and that was another fun way to do it. So it's just however you want to design it really makes it the way you want it.
Questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
You have that tube going down the middle of your, how you're gonna work that spike in there?
It fits.
Yeah, it's fit.
Yeah,
Okay.
you just put it on the side of it.
Yep.
So the question was
And it
this.
doesn't look off center.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Mm-mm. Sometimes I actually put in 2 of these PVC pipes, one on each side of the spike,
Okay.
but one will do it too.
Or you can use a little bit bigger diameter too.
Mhm, mhm.
Have you ever just planted petunias on the top?
Yes.
Mhm.
The question was, have we ever planted petunias on the top? Yes, we have done that. We've done the spike and the petunias. So yes.
There's another question in the chat. What are the spike plants?
Oh, this is a spike, just like this, just what Patty had here. You just buy it like that. There's different kinds. There's smaller ones, there's variegated. There's also ones that are called portaline, and they're a little bit more red. But you can just get a basic smaller one, it'll grow.
Mhm.
So it's called a spike plant?
Yes.
Yes.
I think they were just kind of asking.
Okay.
The plant, yep.
Any other questions?
Thank you. We have a studio audience here, my neighbors. But thank you for joining us tonight. I hope to see these popping up in the neighborhood.
Thanks, you guys.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Have a good evening.
Thank you, you too.
You too.